All the ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Red Square, NGK Spark Plugs, Bridgestone Tyres, and Kawasaki Motorcycles. Absolutely brilliant to be back on the Highveld at Gauteng's Premier Circuit, the Swartkops Raceway. And it's the home of the Extreme Festival for round 2 of this championship. Red Square, ZX10 Masters Cup, Sunbet are in the house with a massive amount of appeal. And of course the appeal is to those people on the sideline too. With Sunbet getting involved in this category last year, there wasn't really much interaction that they had with the crowds, but they are back here in full force this weekend, and fantastic to have the fans here enjoying everything that brings along with the Extreme Festival, including the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Powered by Red Square, sparked by NGK, shod by Bridgestone, and on Kawasaki ZX10Rs. We're looking forward to a great battle here in round number 2 of this championship. Down in Cape Town, it didn't quite go according to plan for Graham van Breda, and there's going to be a massive fight on here between the Gauteng-based riders and the Cape Town contingent. They certainly have come in their droves, including Rob Craig, who's going to be pushing hard to get to the front end. Didn't quite go according to plan for him either at his home circuit. Endicott, always a big contender, and of course our championship leader is Ronald Slamet, the Red Baron. Let's catch up with him down at the Lacquer Racing Pit. Let's see what his plans are. Ronald, a couple of weeks ago you were here for a Thunderbikes event. It gave you a little bit of an edge maybe for today?
Yeah, I think it was important for us to come here. My dad and I and the team knew we had a tough battle coming here with the local guys, and I think we did our homework well. It gave us it made our head a bit more comfortable. I think I'm comfortable. AJ from Lekker Racing, he's just keeping me comfortable this whole weekend, and also calm. I think that's very important, because coming to a new track, it's easy to hype yourself up, and you need to learn quickly. So we've just been calm, and I think it's been working for us.
They come from all over the country, including Sanjeev Singh from KwaZulu-Natal, who puts a lot of effort in behind the scenes. And a new man to the series as well. Great to see rookie stepping up for the very first time, getting some heat into those Bridgestone rubbers, Steve Galgocci. Stevie, it's great to have you back in ZX10, of course, stepping up now and doing a couple of Thunderbike events, coming through. Eventually made the step up to ZX10s, and I think it's exactly where you need to be.
Yeah, exactly. I think, Greg, that's exactly what it needs to be. I mean, I've got sort of to a place where I haven't been riding much, but I've done the Thunderbikes at Brunchon and slowly started to progress. And my times, yes, I'm nowhere close to the front, but I think to be with the faster guys will actually help me get where I need to be.
One of the biggest marketers of this campaign is Sifiso Themba. Look at the IM63 competitors and supporters coming in here for Sifiso Themba on the 63 Kawasaki. As we go to the grid, let's have a look and see what happened in qualifying, with 30 motorcycles showing that ZX10 Masters Cup is surely the premier motorcycle racing series in the country at the moment, and all these riders are almost fired to get going. The grid stands as follows: Graham van Breda on pole position, he's alongside Ronald Slamet, and a great run there from Trevor Westman to be on the front row. That's how they're going to land up there. And Lamb is there too, and watch out for him, he's always quick off the line. Bonte Koenig, really tough to beat as well here at the circuit. He's definitely going to be in the hunt at the front, and a big welcome return for Michael Smith as he comes in to slot into 9th place. As we get ready to go now, everybody going off the grid and clearing it. Join us after the break for race 1 action here from the Kawasaki ZX10 Masters Cup. Welcome back to Swartkops and race 1 from the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Now on board with Sanjeev Singh, waiting for the lights to go out. Lights about to go out. As soon as they do, we go racing, and it is a great start coming out of Graham van Breda. Oh, the Stefanuti Stocks machine goes into the lead, whole shots ahead of Ronald Slamet. The rest of the pack starting to sort themselves out there in that mid-pack battle. It's a big pack of mid-pack riders as well. A lot more than what we've seen all season long and all of last year as well. There's 30 riders on the grid. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And they're all going to tip it into turn 2 and hopefully get out the other side okay. It's a bit of a washing machine as they come out there, but they eventually all slot up into positions. We're on board here with Dave Endicott, sitting about 5th or 6th place at the moment as they go flying through. In fact, it's not. He's dropped further back than what he'd like to be. Endicott not getting the start he wanted. If I look up the road, there's about 7 motorcycles ahead of him, so he's got some work to do. Already some guys clipping the curbs there and running wide. Fantastic start coming out of him, but as they get up onto the top and onto the brakes for the first time, Endicott going to try and squeeze his way back through this field. Fantastic start coming out of Teddy Brook. He's right up there as well, as is Jason Lamb. In the mid-pack, they start to sort things out there, and as they come into that mid-pack, you can see it's going to be Rob Craig, Johan LaRue all having a go. Wayne Shelley in there too, watch out for him, having spent a bit of time. And Garrett Poseidon out under attack now from Michael Smith, under braking into turn 8, G&H Transport Corner. Smitty making a massive welcome return to ZX10 Masters Cup after an injury, and he's back into the hunt and already pushing towards the front end of the field. 44 is the Avidan bike. Rob Craig's behind him, so Craig has not got through there on Johan LaRue. LaRue keeping him out. Looks like Wayne Shelley just ahead of the two of them as they went into turn 2. Guys now into the mix, and also another man who's made a welcome return is Peter DeVos. Long-time season campaigner in this category. Been out for a long time, but he is back here and back in full effect, fighting with Clint Munton and with Ruan Albeholzer. This battle is going to start to pick up here a little bit. Sanjeev Singh just behind them. Here comes a move around the outside, and oh yes, good move there. Watch out for that. Teddy Brook, Apana Ganapathi's into the mix now as well, and so is Aubrey Murray. Murray with a magnificent maneuver around the outside. Super stuff there to keep it all together, but it's not easy here when you're in a pack of riders that are as hungry as you are, just like these 4 are. Brilliant stuff. Oh, Shelley with a bit of a problem. Shelley coming out of there, the wrong line from him, and Rob Craig eventually dives up his inside, back to the front, and it's still Van Bredar from Ronald Slammert. No changes there between the top 2. Second place, Jason Lamb in a mega fight there with Trevor Westman and Brian Bontegunning. I said watch out for Bonte. He's very good off the line, and he is exceptionally good here at Swartkops. Gareth Poseidon is still battling a little bit there on that new machine. Can't get it quite to work for him. Maybe he needs to look at options to try and get someone to help him out to get that bike sorted out, because he is a top contender and a front-end runner. There's no doubt about it, but he just cannot get off the line. Just behind him, though, they are lining up thick and fast. And I tell you what, Sanjeev Singh is in a fight of nature. He has got Han LaRue and Entercott in very close attendance. Bonte now trying to slot through there, trying to bring along possibilities of Westman falling by the wayside and squeezing through on Jason Lamb. Not an easy thing to do. This is on board with Sanjeev Singh as they come out of turn 4. Heading back up to the top of the hill there, Singh. Oh, look at this. This is the way you do it. About 240 odd k's an hour before you climb down the gearbox into about 3rd gear here, and then pitch it over onto the right-hand side, working those Bridgestones as you go into 5 and 6. Second group on the road. There's a super battle on that second group. Lamb hanging on for now. Westman the killer looking for a chance to pounce. He hasn't found it just yet. Jason Lamb is making that ZX10R very, very wide. Can't find a way through Ken Westman at this stage. Bontegunning just waiting to pick up the pieces if anything goes wrong. Oh, Westman runs wide in the background. Westman runs wide. I think Bonte might have squeezed through there, and Westman might be outgunned there into 4th or 5th place. Oh, he was just lucky to hang on. No, he wasn't. Bonte's through. Bonte has got through there. Confirmation. Bontegunning has got through on Westman, so Westman's going to have to now attack 2 riders to get back up to the possibilities of an overall podium. As they get to the top of the hill, he's good on the brakes as Trevor Westman. We saw that down in Cape Town as he was fighting with his Cape Town compatriots when it all went wrong for Graham Van Bredar. Today, it's going all right for Graham Van Bredar. Pole position, and this time out, leads things. Not comfortably, but he is certainly leading this race for now. And looking the way that Ronald Slammert has played his game, he's gone alongside Alan John Fenter at Blacker Racing and said to him, help me out here, what do I need to do up in Gauteng? And the two of them working together to get him into 2nd place, possibly still in with a shot of the win. Oh, big moment there for Henk Kruger running wide just behind Henk Scaling, the battle of the Henks there. 82 bike nearly getting completely out of shape and ran off circuit. Munton still continues to lead out over Apana Ganapathy. We've got a good battle starting to rage there as well with Munton. Apana Ganapathy coming into the mix is Byron Rothquell, also debuter, only 2nd time outing for the Mag Magic Man. And he's got to grips with things very nicely. So has, of course, long-time season campaigner, the Dog Doctor, Stewie Christie, back into the fight at mid-pack level. There's 30 bikes on there. We normally say mid-pack is for 15th and 16th place. Now we have to say it's for 21st and 22nd, because that's kind of where they've dropped down to. Keith Agliotti on the Ridgeway race bar bike, just ahead of them. So a bit of a fight on here, and this is further up the field. As I said, Teddy Brook got an incredible start. He has now got some riders trying to find the way through there on that incredible start to spoil his day a bit. Led out by the number 44, and the Avidan bike is late on the brakes. Johan LaRue squeezes through and gets ahead of that Brook Refrigeration Kawasaki. It's not done yet between them because Craig is going to join them. So we've got 3 riders now all fighting for what is going to be the final step of the top 10. This is in 10, 11 and 12th place on track. Unbelievable to see how this class has grown and how many riders have come to join it, and they've come from all around the country, which, as I said, is just showing that this has become the premier category in the country. Brilliant effort here from Red Square, from Sunbet, from NGK, from Bridgestone, all to get behind this, and now Kawasaki joining them as well. And speaking of Kawasaki, whoa, look at that move. Apana Ganapathy's got his ZX10 absolutely lit through turn 1, and he got a great drive into turn 1 to squeeze up and get through there on Aubrey Murray. That fight's not over just yet, though. Watch out for that one heading to the checkered flag in a few minutes' time. But the fights are on all around the track, and that's exactly what ZX10R Masters Cup is all about. And they get through here. This is a bit of a maneuver now from Johan LaRue to get away from these 3. Wayne Shelley's joined the party. We're on board here with Henk Scaling. He looks back at Henk Kruger. Kruger coming out of turn 2. Gets the drive down, and Scaling now trying to keep the wheel down. We'll probably see a wheelie from him at the end of the race, but right now it's everything to the medal and to the locker on that right hand to ensure that he stays ahead of Kruger. It's a bit of a fight on you between these two Henk boys, and they're having a great one. Just outside of the top 22 and up the inside. Oh, brilliant stuff. You can see Scaling hung on to that inside line, realizing that Kruger was coming, shut the door. Kruger had to go the long way around, turn 4. I wonder if he got through. We'll keep an eye on that one, see what happens. Across the line, another lap completed. This is the battle for third place. Jason Lamb not getting away from Trevor Westman. Bonte Koenig is keeping Westman honest. Hasn't had a go just yet on that Jag Power Product Kawasaki, but he probably will by the end of it. And then just behind that, they line up. And you can see that there's going to be a bit of a fight on there. Sanjeev Singh now starting to come under pressure from Gareth Besaidner. Johan LaRue just behind that. They're trying to close down on Smitty. Michael Smith has got his own little problems to try and catch the front couple of riders, but I don't think there's enough time for him to do that. But he's keeping out Entercott, Sanjeev Singh and Gareth Besaidner. The second battle, just mentioned it on. Here comes the third one, and the third one is starting to heat up as well. Apana Ganapathy, Clint Munton is in there too, and just behind that, Peter de Vos and Ruben Oberholzer. Byron Rothcall there, the 31 bike at the back. Oh, brilliant stuff from Keith Agliotti. He's managed to bridge that gap and get into that third pack of riders. Here comes Apana, late on the brakes. Is he good enough? Yes, he is. Squeezes Aubrey Murray and just gives him a little wave there to say thank you, giving me some room, but I don't think he gave that up on purpose, Apana. I think Aubrey made a small mistake up into turn 5, which opened up the door for you. Speaking of doors opening up, Wayne Shelley looking for a way through there on Teddy Brook. And then the second pack. Apana Ganapathy now leading the second pack as they come down the hill. Clint Mutton in the mix of it. And Mutton's got Peter de Vos on his tail. Ruben Alberts is just behind that. And then you've got the hard-charging Byron Rothcall. Travis Nordier not too far off the back end of them either. East London-based rider is now starting to get into his own now. Has found some rhythm into the closing stages as we go on board here with Sanjeev coming out of turn 2. Watch this, pitching it over. Entercott, oh, lovely stuff. These two very evenly matched in terms of their riding style. Just love this onboard shot from this angle. Just getting the kind of lean angle you can get out of those Bridgestone tyres. Up to the top of the hill, Graham Van Breda just controlling things, not letting Ronald Slamet even get a whiff of that front position or even a chance to get through. Slamet will be thinking himself, well, I've done everything right now. He's had a bad outing at my circuit only a couple of weeks ago, so second place will keep me in the lead of this championship. Graham Van Breda needs 2 wins today to bring himself back into contention after the nightmare start he had at Killarney International Raceway. So Van Breda just concentrating on keeping it upright on the Stefanuti Stocks Kawasaki. Ronald Slamet, of course, has been using Maike Oxy there as well to give himself a little bit of an edge. And with the help of Alan John Fenter, who's also had a lot of experience around this track, he's looking to give the Red Baron that little bit of an edge. Not quite got it right just yet here in race number 1. Maybe a couple of tweaks and turns here and there will get him sorted out for race number 2. I did mention the fact that he'd been up here only about 3 weekends ago to take part in the Thunderbike race that they had here. And he won that on out comfortably, getting a little bit of data, well needed, to put into practice here today. And it hasn't quite given him the edge to take the victory. But this is a difficult man to beat at his home circuit. And Graham Van Breda doing everything right here today on that Stefanuti Stocks Kawasaki to take the victory. If he can keep it all together for a couple more corners. I think that's the case. Slamet is going to have to put his thinking cap on there with AJ and see what they can do for race number 2. Checkered flag is going to be coming out, and Van Breda is going to take the first victory here at round number 2 of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. It's a done deal ahead of Slamet. Jason Lamb has hung on to take third place. In the background, you'll see as they come across the line, it's very close between himself and Westman, but Westman just not able to get ahead there, and Jason Lamb is a very happy man to be on the podium there for the first time this season. Rest of the bikes coming through. They're great battles that ensued all the way through this field, and they have eventually been sorted out with Gareth Besaidner just finishing behind Sanjeev Singh as they cross the line there. Great job there from Johan LaRue to be in the top 10, but it's Van Breda, Slamet and Lamb, your top 3, ahead of Westman, Bonte Koenig, Smith and Entercott. Further down, Robert Craig just ahead of Wayne Shelley. Teddy Brook finished up ahead of Apana Ganapathy, Aubrey Murray and Munton. De Vos, Oberholzer, Byron Rothcall and Travis Nordier make up the top 20. And then just further down, 30 riders out there, we can't ask for better. Agliotti, Lafras Fritz, Stewie Christie, Kruger and Scaling. It was Kruger who won out that battle, with Harwood beating out Safi September and Galgocci, your rookie. Let's catch up now with race 1 winner, Graham Van Breda.
That was a very nice race for us, coming back to Swartkops on home territory against all the Cape Town guys. After Cape Town being so dismal, we came here, I think, about 13th in the championship. And I just really put my head down this whole weekend. I've been focusing and making sure my riding's good. We've managed to qualify pole, and from the word go, I just put my head down and did my best. And we managed to pull, I think, a half a second gap on Ronald. He rode very well. He hasn't ridden here lots. Well done to all the other guys. And yeah, it was a really nice race. And thanks to my own sponsors, to Stefanuti Stocks, to Motel, and our class sponsors, Sunbet, Bridgestone, Red Square. Thanks, guys. and NGK, of course. Thank you for putting on a great show, and really nice to be here amongst 30 fast riders today. It's the biggest field we've had in ages, and good to be amongst fast company. Thank you.
Slammer in second place maintains his lead in the championship, but it's going to be a tough one.
It was a tough race. Graham got the whole shot. I stuck behind him for a bit just to try and see what he does. Visibly, he was faster than me through 2 of the corners, and I had to just play catch up the rest of the track. But now we're going back to the drawing board to try and correct that 2 corners, and I think race 2 will be a lot closer to him, and maybe we can give him a fight for the win. We're still leading the championship, so we gained some points and opened up a gap on him a bit. So I'm excited for race 2. Thank you to my sponsors. Thank you to the series sponsors, and this one's for my mom.
Welcome back to Swartkops and round 2 of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Race 2 about to kick off on circuit, and riders are going to be fired up to go and do some more battles, as we saw. Hope you got a red square in between the breaks, and great to have the crowds back here at Swartkops. They are definitely loving life here at round 2 of the Extreme Festival. Time to roll those ZX10s onto the grid and get ready to go now for more race action. As they come off, we clear the grid of our Sunbet ladies and all of the entourage. And riders now starting to get that red mist down. The visors will drop. We wait for the lights, and when they drop and go out, we go racing. This is Henk Scaling's view, looking to see where his good friend Henk Kruger is. He's just on the right-hand side of him. We'll see that orange and turquoise Kawasaki. But there are a couple of riders he's got to try and squeeze through on by the time he gets to turn number 1, if he can. Watch out for Scaling coming from that backpack. Lights about to go on. And it's Graham van Berdaal looking for a double victory here today to bring himself back into contention for this championship. He is the number 1 plate, and that's always a heavy machine to be handling around a circuit. The target is on your back, and there are a lot of riders looking to take that target and take the attack to you. Good start, much better this time from Travis Nordia. As he comes flying through and in towards turn 2, he's now into about the top 10 pack as opposed to the top 20 he was in earlier on. But the East London-based rider, the Buco Kawasaki, much better start from him. He's got, looks like, it is. Keith Agliotti right on his tail there on the Ridgeway race bar bike. Van Berdaal leads out though over Slammet, exactly the same as we saw in the first one. Is that Bontekoning up into 3rd? It is. Brian Bontekoning has moved himself up into 3rd place. He wants to try and stay here with Slammet and with Van Berdaal. Late braking from Slammet, going to go around the outside. What? Around the outside of turn 5. There's not a lot of riders that can pull that one off, particularly on Graham van Berdaal. But Slammet was able to find a line. They must have had a chat over the lunchtime break and said, listen, there's an outside line at turn 5. If you can get it, use it. And he has. He's taken the lead and leads out now over Graham van Berdaal. It's Bontekoning in 3rd place, Lamb in 4th, Westman in 5, and Anticott is up into 6th place. Great start there from Dave Anticott. Much better from him. The rest of the riders now getting back into the same little packs they were in race number 1 as they start to sort themselves out now. Munton leads that 2nd pack. He's got the Avidan bike right on his tail there of Johan Leroux. Here around the outside comes the magic machine of Byron Rothwell. And late braking coming into turn 2 is that Anticott slotting up 1 position. Yes, it is. Anticott moves up 1 place and now tries to take on the attack a little bit further up, bringing Munton along for the ride. Behind them, Rob Cragg is a much better start to this time out as well. Great to see Cragg into the lead pack and not in the 2nd and 3rd place packs that were fighting in race number 1. Here we go, diving through, trying to find a way past. Just gets up the inside there. Just behind that, the Scaling and Kruger battle is still led out by Henk Kruger. Scaling will want to definitely change that up. So will Van Berdaal here at the front. Van Berdaal wants to change it up over Ronald Slammet. Slammet has led out for more than a lap now. He cannot afford to let the Red Baron get away. Ronald Slammet in the front is a difficult man to beat. He's very good on the brakes, but so is Van Berdaal. Have a look at this, how good he was on the brakes. Up on the outside of turn 5. Not a lot of riders will make this maneuver stick. Here's Slammet on the outside. I don't think Van Berdaal sees him coming around that outside and is quite surprised by the time he gets to turn in to the AMG corner. But what a move there from the Red Baron. Finding that outside line, getting the apex right and taking the lead of the race. Here comes Stewie Christie diving through now. He's the meat and the sandwich now between the Henk battle. Oh, he's got ahead of him. He's just got ahead of them there. So the dog doctor getting away from both Kruger and Scaling. Munton still with the Ganapathy on his tail. Ganapathy trying to find a way through. Behind him, Aubrey Marais lines up, and so does the battle continue there between those little riders. There's 7 of them all having a fight. Can you believe that? Oh, someone's down. The dog doctor. Stewie Christie's gone down. And looks like he's come together with another motorcycle on track. I'm not quite sure who the other bike is there, but right now, a big moment down at G&H Transport Corner. Walking away, is that Travis? It is. It's Travis Nordia who's come and locked up wheels there between the two riders. Red flag out. So unfortunately, with the rider going down here at Swartkops, it's the usual scenario. If it's in a dangerous position, which Chewy was in, looks like he was just starting to move there before we went away, but the dog doctor down in a big way. Hopefully you get a speedy recovery to get back on track as soon as possible. We go back on track now for the restart. 6 laps of action going to come your way. Is Van Bredar going to be able to outgun Ronald Slamet, who starts on pole position with the revised grid there? And this time it is Slamet who possibly hangs on. No, it's not. Van Bredar squeezes him out into turn 1. And the man who would be king wants to get back into this championship and take 2 victories here today. He's done everything to perfection here on the second start. Look at Aubrey Murray. What a bit of late braking coming from him as they go into turn 2. Everybody trying to squeeze through there. Good start as well coming out of Sophie Satemba just in the background. Haven't mentioned a lot of him. His crowd support here is the biggest probably in the entire audience. He brought more supporters along to the circuit than anybody else. And some great marketing there on social media from his side. But yeah, here comes Bonte. Bonte got a terrible start this time. He was up in 3rd place on the first start. Remember, he's now down into about 7th. Scaling and Kruger continue their little fight. But Van Bredar has got the lead, and this time Ronald Slamet going to try around the outside. Is he going to be able to do it? No, this time he runs wide. It was probably slightly colder Bridgestones there that he tried to make that move on, and this time it wasn't going to stick, and it's allowed Jason Lamb and Trevor Westman a bit of a sniff there. So will they be able to spoil the day there for Ronald Slamet, who leads the championship at this stage? Michael Smith is up to 2nd. Can you believe that return? After a long time off, Michael Smith is back in his ZX10s and already into 2nd place in his 2nd time of asking. And he's got a bit of a margin now over Slamet, then Lamb, then Westman, then Bontekune. They're all just lining up there waiting to pounce. Including this man, Enticott, as he goes into turn 2. He's right into that second pack of riders. A couple of riders running wide there. He's trying to fight off and attack them all at the same time. Jason Lamb's in the pack, so is Bontekune. Sanjeev Singh in there too. Really fantastic to see this 2nd, 3rd, 4th up to 9th place battle. Just all right up close and personal. Very much similar to what we see in Moto 3. That's what ZX10 is becoming like, actually. It's brilliant. And this is the kind of action that we expect to see, especially when we go on board with a man like Enticott. And he got trying to go on the outside. Yeah, that is on Sanjeev Singh. Sanjeev Singh might just lose out to Enticott under braking. No, he doesn't. Wow, he's late on the brakes there. Brilliant stuff there. And great onboard shots. Look at the man out front, though. Graham Van Bredar has just put everything down, the hammer and everything to get away from 2nd place Trevor Westman, Michael Smith and Ronald Slamet, who are having a little bit of an epic battle. 2 laps to go. Who's going to have what it takes here to finish up on that 2nd step of the podium? Right now it's in the hands of Michael Smith, but Trevor Westman is coming along. He's just set the fastest lap of his race career here at Swartkops as Westman. Westman now looking for a chance to get ahead and get onto that podium, onto the 2nd step. Do some phenomenal stuff for his championship, because remember, he was basically the man behind Ronald Slamet down in Cape Town. So he's sitting 2nd place in the championship. He'd like to make it a little bit closer between himself and his fellow Cape Town-based rider. It's Gauteng 1 and 2 at the moment. Cape Town 3 and 4. Jason Lamb comes into the mix there, just ahead of Bontekune. Enticott, he's got through now, and Sanjeev now with some work to do to try and close down back on Enticott. And further back here, oh, look at that for late braking from Trevor Westman. Westman going to try and do the same kind of move around the outside of Michael Smith. Smith sees him coming. Might have to just dive on the inside. Remember the deal here with Trevor Westman. His whole Wayward sponsorship, of course, is one of his good friends who lost his brother. It was this man's motorcycle that Trevor Westman's getting to ride, and it's all in honor of that man. So the Wayward Bike doing such a great job here to do some real great tributes to his sponsor. Oh, and he just loses out again with a lap to go. We got 1 to go now. Is Westman going to be able to outgun Smith? Is Smith going to keep him out? He goes around the outside of turn 1. That's a brave move. Is it good enough? And he's good enough on the brakes. Yes, he is. There comes Slamet along for the ride as well. Smith sees him coming, shuts the door, but he could not keep out the killer. Westman dives on the inside and gets through there on Michael Smith. Now Smith trying to fend off the intentions being shown there by Ronald Slamet. Slamet wants through. He wants that 3rd place. Oh, wow. Trevor Westman with such a late outbraking maneuver around the outside of turn 1. Not a lot of grip on any type of machinery, but he just managed to find that extra little bit of grip out of those Bridgestones on the outside and got through on the brakes into turn 2. On the brakes into turn 5, we've seen how good Ronald Slamet's been here, but Michael Smith matches him. Smitty with 3 corners to go to make it a welcome return, and a particularly welcome return for him to be back on the podium in only his 2nd time of asking after a long off. Here we go. It's Graham Van Bredar, 2 out of 2 at his home circuit. Exactly what he wanted on that Motul and Stefanudi Stocks Kawasaki. Brilliant stuff there from him. He wins out. Trevor Westman comes through for 2nd on the Wayward Bike. And that is how close it is. Absolutely nothing in it. About 0.2 of a second between Michael Smith and Ronald Slamet. The rest of the pack going through there. They've all sorted themselves out now. It's kind of opened up a bit more between Brian Bontekun and Sanjeev Singh. Shelley, Craig, Apana Ganapathy coming through for the lucky number 13 spot. And then it's Munton behind him. Aubrey Murray with the hand up there saying awesome dice with Gareth Poseidonite. Rothwell just behind that. Have a look at the top 10. Van Bredal, Westman, Smith, Slamet. Jason Lamb ahead of Enticott and Brian Bontekun and Sanjeev Singh. Wayne Shelley into the top 10. Great ride from him, beating out Rob Craig. LaRue's in 11th ahead of Teddy Brook. Apana Ganapathy and Munton with Murray, Poseidonite. Byron Rothwell there in 17th ahead of Kruger, De Vos and Lafras Fritz. And then it was Hank Scaling, Ruan Oberholzer, Ian Harwood, Safiso Temba in 24th, Schwerwin and Galgachi. Let's catch up with race winner Graham Van Bredal.
The second heat, they obviously split into two with a red flag coming out. The first start wasn't too bad. I got a good start, but Ronald managed to get me at the top. But I saw where he was good on the brakes, and I was having a look. And then obviously the red flag came out. I knew there's only 6 laps, so I got a rocket start and really put my head down to try and pull a gap. I think Ronald made a mistake or two because he dropped back to 4th, but the bike was absolutely on rails. I'd just like to say a massive thanks to Peter, my mechanic, Peter Labuskachny, and my workshop. We got the bike really, really good, and I'll keep this nice and short and sweet, and I'd just like to dedicate this win to my father, and thank you very much.
Let's catch up now with second place Trevor Westman after a killer day.
Then on the red flag, everything went to plan. Was a bit more aggressive in the last turn, past Ronald, and just put my head down and got into the second place there. But overall, finished third, which I'm happy with. So happy. So we look forward to PE.
Welcome back to the podium for Michael Smith.
When we did the second restart, I was 6th. Pulled off, got behind Slamet and Graham. Slamet made a mistake up in turn 5. I passed him and stayed second for a while, but then Trevor came past me, I think in the second last lap. But I'm happy with what I did today. I think I'm building up. The guys will see me there in front pretty soon.
2 Cape Town riders at the top on 78 points, heading to Quebeca on the 28th of May. Ronald Slamet and Westman evenly matched. Van Bredal's back into it. He's in 3rd place with Enticott down in 4th. Jason Lamb staying in that top 5 hunt. And Michael Smith, great effort there from him to come back into the championship in 7th ahead of Poseidonite, LaRue and Bontekun. We'll see you in Quebeca on the 28th of May. All the ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Red Square, NGK Spark Plugs, Bridgestone Tyres and Kawasaki Motorcycles.